Okay, sorry about that. My little timer went off to tell me that I can drink water. But anyways, I don't count the days that I do have the liquor, or I try not to count those calories, because it's like I said, it's not really a valid calorie count to me. It's like, oh, okay, you know. So at any rate, that's the other thing. Two things I want to address. First of all, I had a couple of people comment or message me about, well, for having to have all these surgeries and all these complications, you seem pretty chipper. First of all, I don't give a shit what you think. Second of all, I'm happy because I have MS. I am terminal. I prevented esophageal cancer. I no longer have headaches and migraines every day. That alone puts me in a happy mood every day, instead of being sad and depressed. And yes, I do have my times where, you know, when all that was going on, I would cry, I would get upset, I would get frustrated, you know, and I would tell my husband I just wish I'd be able to eat. But those moments are like this compared to this, you know. It's if you concentrate on the negative all the time and are always looking at, oh, I can't, especially with MS, you're gonna put yourself in the grave sooner than the disease itself will, with the stress and the negativity. So it's my choice. If you don't like it, you certainly don't have to watch my channel. I have absolutely no problem with that. Everybody has their own way of thinking and you know, their outlook on life and stuff like that. If I can be positive going through all the stuff that I'm going through, and I can help other people, you know, to get through whatever their, you know, complication is after a surgery or anything like that, then yeah, you know, that's a bonus. So, yeah, that being said, like I said, you get rid of the negative people in your life, period, and it doesn't really bother me. But I didn't mean to come across as like I never got upset or never had those moments where I was like, oh, because I did, you know, and I still do every once in a while. Like right now, I'm like, oh my God, you know, not being able to lift stuff and to do stuff like I'm used to being able to do, it really sucks. And I feel really weak, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to being very strong and, you know, being able to do stuff. So there are good things and there are bad things. But the good for me far outweighs the bad, you know. No longer diabetic or borderline diabetic. So many things have been fixed metabolically, which is why I had to have the surgery. A lot of people think that the surgery was for weight loss alone, and that's not the case. This surgery was a must because I'm allergic to chemo. We found that out when my mother-in-law had cancer and was going through chemo, and I was just sitting next to her. And yeah, that was not good. They had to pull me out of the room and all kinds of nasty stuff. So I know for a fact that if I ever did get cancer, I can't do chemo or anything like that. I'm allergic. They had different kinds of the chemo bags going in the room because here they have it in a big room, but needless to say, it's just a no. So I was positive for the Barrett's esophagus or esophageal, whatever you pronounce it, which means that my chances of getting esophageal cancer was significantly increased within the next 3 to 5 years. I kind of want to see my grandkids. So if you don't like it, I don't fucking care. You know, it's that simple. I had to have the surgery because of the excess bile that was backing up into my stomach from my liver, which was then getting into my system, which was causing my headaches and migraines every single day. It was also causing my fatigue. I used to be on methylphenidate 4 times a day just to stay awake. They assumed it was because of my MS. However, since I've had the metabolic surgery, I haven't had to take any of my methylphenidate at all. And that's pretty freaking amazing. I'm in bed by 10 o'clock or so, unless, you know, I do something different. And I do get tired after, you know, doing a lot of stuff, but I haven't been able to work out, you know, I haven't been able to do stuff. So the more meds I'm able to get off of and stuff, and my thyroid's finally stabilized, and my vitamin D. I know a lot of people say that you get malnutrition after having metabolic surgery, but for me, my body is able to absorb the vitamin D so much better. And my levothyroxine, my thyroid meds and all that. We think it's possibly because we did the bypass to prevent the bile. The bile was preventing my body from absorbing stuff previously. So, in a way, it kind of helped me do the opposite. I know that's not the norm. I know most people don't have, 8 ounces of bile sitting in their stomach that shouldn't be in there from their liver and everything. But I'm just saying, for me, everybody says you're so much happier, and it doesn't really, I mean, I'm happy about the weight loss, don't get me wrong, and I like to look good and, wear sexy things now and again and that kind of stuff. I'm not going to lie about that, but the fact of the matter is that I'm happy because I'm not in pain every day. Like, going through life for the last 10 years, being in pain every fucking day, yeah, you're gonna be a bitch. You're gonna be a little, not happy about stuff. So, yeah, did I have some hard times? Yeah, but compared to the last 10 years, it was nothing. I mean, if I'm being honest, since I've been diagnosed with MS and the steroid meds that they put me on and the weight gain and what I've had to go through, yeah, and I didn't realize I had 7 surgeries. I really didn't. And the last surgery that I did, she goes, okay, well, we can't do another surgery for at least 4 to 6 weeks if you need another dilation. And I'm like, what? And she goes, do you have any idea how many times you've gone under anesthesia in the last few months? And I'm like, nope. So they had to tell me, moving along. The other question I get asked sometimes is my times on eating. I know that I'm a little different because they're trying to get me to build up. So they had me eating literally every 2 hours. Every other feeding, I call them feedings, I gotta feed my pouch. Every other feeding would be either a vegetable or a fruit, and then the other ones would be protein, either protein shakes or trying to get in some meat. And then I wait 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after. However, if I eat animal meat, I try to wait a half an hour after I eat, because my body right now is missing some of the, I forget what it's called, but it's something in my blood that my body is missing from animal protein. So I want to give my stomach, my pouch, extra time to process that, so that those proteins and stuff do get into my system to raise that in my blood. But for the most part, and I have found recently, since I've been able to eat more, going 2.5 hours is better, because especially before dinner. Earlier in the day, having yogurts and oats and different things like this and a half a banana, it's not really that big of a deal if it's just 2 hours. But for dinner, I try and push it to 2.5 hours so that I can get 2 ounces of meat in, protein, get 2 tablespoons of a starch, which currently I've been doing sweet potato. I bake a sweet potato, which is what they had recommended, and then the rest in protein, 1 to 2 ounces, or not protein, excuse me, 1 to 2 ounces of vegetables, cauliflower, broccoli, that kind of stuff. So, and it works better. I'm able to get what I need in for dinner if I wait the 2.5 hours. So, I'm sure that I will eventually go to that, and I know that I'm supposed to move up to having like a whole cup full of food in one sitting. By 6-month mark, they want me at a cup at least, and at least 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day. So, I have 2 months to scale myself to get there. And I'm trying to get there because I want to start working out again. I miss it. I miss being able to lift things and not feel like, oh my God, I can't do this. Come help me open up this jar. Which is very frustrating for me. But that's what I'm doing right now, And again, my situation is a little bit different because of all the surgeries that I've had and the swelling both in the esophagus and the stomach opening to my intestines, to where, you can only eat so much because then it goes through type of deal. But other than that, everything is doing pretty good. Like I said, I'm frustrated because I'm 1 pound away from 100 pounds. My husband was teasing me. He goes, well, you know why that is, right? And I go, I'm at 99 pounds lost total. And he goes, yep, because you want that 1 pound. I'm like, yep, that's pretty much true. So I'll probably do a video once I do hit the 100 pounds lost. I'm pretty positive that will happen within the next week, by the time next Tuesday comes. So that's it. End of part 2. Bye.